Hello, friends. Welcome to the Say It Loud podcast. I'm your host, Matt Jones. We're going to talk music today. What else? We have Emily Miller, who works in communications and outreach for the Austin Music Foundation, on today's episode. It's good that Emily works for the Austin Music Foundation because she's a super fan of music. We've seen her at so many shows, Fair City Fire shows, Edison Chair shows, That Girl Dre shows. She likes live music, and she likes to use her efforts to promote music and now to promote business education for musicians. She is a persistent one, that's for sure. She basically has worked her way into the job with AMF. She's worked with several bands in town. She did a lot of free labor for bands. That's how much she loves it. She told us about how she got involved in the music business after giving up her career in broadcast journalism. It was probably the right decision, and now she's here in Austin helping bands do what they love to do and helping them make a business of it. If you're in a band, if you're an artist, definitely check out austinmusicfoundation.org. All of their services are free. They will help you do what you do better. And follow Austin Music Foundation on Facebook and on Instagram. They have many events coming up here in the next couple of months. Check those out. They are a nonprofit, so they rely on a lot of the funding that comes from these events. So please support them because they support musicians in Austin. And be sure to check out Fair City Fire on November 3rd at Saxon Pub. We'll hope to see you there. And thanks again to Emily. Enjoy.
Hey,
Check.
hey.
Time around.
Brett, go ahead.
Everyone talk at one time.
Yeah.
Hello.
Let's do a round. Row, row, row your boat.
Row, row, row your boat
Gently down the street. Somebody's got to start.
gently
Row,
down the street.
row your boat.
Row, row.
You gotta keep going.
What are we playing?
I didn't think we were actually doing it.
I was ready. Merrily,
Merrily, merrily,
Life
merrily,
is but a
merrily, life
dream.
is
Merrily,
but a
merrily,
dream.
merrily,
Row, row.
merrily, life is but a dream.
Twinkle, twinkle,
Twinkle,
little
twinkle.
star.
Twinkle, twinkle.
H-I-J-K-L-N-N-O-P.
Everything is around.
It's funny.
Everything is around.
That's so
There's the quote.
existential.
Yeah,
Yes.
there it is.
What do you say? What do we say, guys?
All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Hey.
I think we're prepped. We're warmed up.
All right.
All right.
Welcome to the Say It Loud podcast, episode 55. Emily Miller is our guest today. Hey, Emily.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
We've got Brett here,
Hello.
Brian,
Hey.
Joe.
Like after hours. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, we're going to do a little after dark later. Answer
Past
some.
9.
Yeah.
Past
I
9
did not sign
tonight.
up
So
for this.
hello.
And I'm Matt. Thanks for coming on, Emily. So we know you. We knew you from the Austin music scene. You're everywhere.
Aw.
And then maybe because it's your job, you're on the outreach team at the Austin Music Foundation, AMF.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it is partly a job, but you must have a passion for it. Like you walk the walk of the the local music fan, and I guess your music career.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so. I guess I kind of made it my job. I mean, I moved to Austin just wanting to listen to all of the bands that were playing, and then heard about AMF and basically just didn't stop until they hired me.
Right.
I'm happy to be on the team.
So I want to talk a lot about AMF and the work you do there and the programs you're doing there. But how long have you been in Austin?
I'm coming up on 5 years in January.
Okay. And you moved here from South Carolina, or you went to university there?
Yeah, from the East Coast. So I grew up in Virginia, and I was going to school at USC.
Were you always going to be in the music business?
Not really. Well, I started going to school for broadcast journalism, and then I just realized that all of my teachers were like super old dudes that were really boring. And then I was kind of like,
Yeah, the news.
yeah. And so I was like, like sitting in my boring hometown lifeguarding, like, oh, what am I going to do this summer? Just like looking at all my concerts and stuff on Live Nation. And at the bottom, I saw careers, and I was like, oh shit, like you could do this as a career. So then I switched my major to entertainment management and just sort of dove in from there.
Nice.
And so I guess you come to the music industry as a fan, right? Did you ever grow up playing like any instruments in school, or were you in chorus or anything like that?
Not a singer, at least that I want anyone else to hear, but
We could do that. Row, row, row your boat again.
Yeah.
everything is around.
I think that's what people want to hear.
Everything is around.
Everything is
All
around.
right.
Yeah.
No, so I took some drum lessons when I was little, but
Nice.
my parents were not very encouraging of that. And I did play saxophone in 6th grade, but I was
Woot
really
woot.
but I was really tiny and I had to walk like 2 miles to school and it was just way too
That's
heavy.
Uphill both ways.
Yeah, pretty much. I felt like it.
Yeah, I had a trumpet. It's not that big, but when you have to carry it home from school, like a couple miles, it's a big deal. Like
Yeah.
Friday was instrument day or band day. And it was just like, Then finally I just started leaving it there and I would never practice at home. And
Yeah.
I would just lie about it on my practice chart.
Yeah, just,
There you
I've got
go.
another
That's
trumpet
what
at
you
home.
should
Don't
do.
worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, practicing always gave me like such anxiety. Like that was when I learned to forge my parents' signature because they would be like, "Okay, did you study for 30 minutes or practice
Yep,
for 30
same thing,
minutes?"
yeah.
And I was like, "Totally."
Yeah. I guess
I feel like has everyone done that?
Forge
Forged
their
their parents'
parents'
signature.
yeah.
I've got it down. It was the middle initial on my mother's signature that took me a while to get. It was an S.
my mom's was
You gotta
too
trace
easy.
it,
It was
just
too
like-
perfect.
I think I
Like,
was terrified that if I
cursive.
ever got caught, like, I wouldn't have a hand to write
You
with.
don't. that doesn't seem right.
You know what I mean?
The Joe
That was
I
something
know.
there was a lot of things I did, but forging a signature. That was like,
Joe outgrew his worry about getting in trouble. Yeah.
forging a
It's like,
signature
not
was
my
was
drum hands.
yeah.
Dude, yeah. Alice wouldn't have it.
No, that was top of the crimes.
I can see
feel
that.
like you know
the
what I mean?
lioness, you don't want to mess with it. No.
You don't want to forge her signature. They'll know too, because like my signature was shit. Like,
This looks oddly sloppy.
yeah, right. This looks
For
like
a woman.
student did this.
So did you move to Austin with dreams of working in the music industry or the entertainment industry?
I guess kind of. I was very aware of not becoming jaded. You know, I was kind of like not wanting to get into it because I didn't want to start hating it, which I haven't, but I have had my moments for sure. But I actually moved here because of AMF. I was like I guess I was just sort of like thinking that Austin was the spot and I was wanting to work for a nonprofit. So I just Googled like Austin music nonprofit and came up with AMF and basically just like harassed the shit out of them. I was like, let me be your intern. I will work every day for free. Like I
You
just
do belong
need
in
to
the music
go
business.
there.
Yeah.
So AMF brought me here and then I just was doing all sorts of different things. Some like at a corporate like record label level, and then the stuff that I most enjoy is definitely like indie DIY type of band stuff.
Speaking of corporate, I feel like this is a good time. Emily? What do you think about corporate culture?
I don't like it.
You have a question prepared?
I adamantly refuse corporate culture.
I was.
You remembered that then.
Yeah.
Good.
It was a direct quote, I believe, from Emily was refuse corporate culture whenever possible.
Yes.
That's so
Boom.
funny. Yeah, I did.
What is that from?
is on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Oh, nice.
It's coming back around. Don't worry.
I know. I'm like, y'all did your research. I appreciate this. I should probably update some things.
So yeah, I
You're
said that.
still down
yeah.
with corporate culture. No, like,
No, I'm still.
You got
I want it to
important
go down.
things.
go down. Go down. corporate
Important
culture.
things like that quote and your religion is love, which is a good religion.
Yeah.
And I guess since we're talking about your Facebook stuff,
Oh God.
you know, Matt and I were talking about this today, and we were like, I wonder what it's like to be an official Facebook relationship with
One of
with
the hottest
one of the
young
hottest
guitarists.
young guitarists in town
That's
since
so funny.
January 25th of 2017.
So the only reason we're in a Facebook relationship is because I sent him the request and then logged into his Facebook to accept it.
Nice.
That's the kind of girlfriend you want. you know?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, but it feels pretty good. I'm proud of it.
Were you ever, when you were getting into these music career gigs, were you like, I can't date musicians or people I work with or anything?
Totally. Yes.
Yeah.
And it happened with Martin too. I was like, man, why have I never seen this kid before? He's pretty cute. And then I was like, don't do it. That's a bad idea. And then I was like, whatever. We're only 20 something.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we have that thought often too. The three of
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
We're only 20.
We're only 20 something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus something else.
Yeah.
so you did have experience managing the band Martin was in.
Mhm.
We've had him on the show before. But how else did you get your foot in the door? I mean, you just pestered AMF enough, and they actually just gave you an internship?
Yeah, so they gave me my internship, which got me to Austin, and then I was working like coffee shop jobs just to like afford to live here. And then actually I got hired full time with a management company that works mostly with Nashville country artists. And around that time, I was liking it. I was thankful to have a full time job that was paying my bills, allowing me to pay off my loans and such. But I was getting really frustrated with the fact that we were managing like all of this like Nashville pop country, which just isn't my thing at all. Like,
oh no,
yeah,
we've seen it.
Yeah, everything is like beer and pickup trucks
and Netflix.
Hell yeah,
and Netflix.
Hell yeah, Netflix and chill.
Is that the new reference in Nashville?
In a way, corporate culture.
Ooh,
It was very corporate. It
Yeah.
was very corporate. There was a lot of like sexist tendencies that I really didn't like. I wasn't very close to the music, which is really why I moved here in the first place. And around that time, I was hanging out at Empire a lot. I met my good friend Marshall, and he was in a band, The Naked Maha.
Mm-hmm.
And
nice.
so,
Yes,
so
yes.
our first project together was Maha Fest, which was super fun. Really badass day. I met a lot of good people through that band. I met Edison Chair through that band. And then, just once you start meeting people and they're like, wait, like you want to help my band for free? And I'm just like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And it's really easy to make friends that way.
Is it, I guess it's an intentional thing in your mind when you're doing these things. Is it, okay, this is all going to be a good experience for me? Or does it get to the point you're digging such a hole of free labor that you're like, what am I doing? This is too much on me.
It's definitely, you got to find the balance. You have to figure out what your time is worth. And at the very beginning, when I didn't have much experience, I don't think my time was worth that much to other people. Also, I'm just a very experiential person. A lot of it is just for like the fun stuff we got to do. Like the first time I went to Port Aransas was with the Naked Maha. Like I got to see Wu-Tang Clan with Edison Chair at South by. Like,
Shit, yeah.
Yeah. So that stuff to me totally outweighs like
Right. And so kind of speaking, the subject of finding out what you're worth, that's kind of, one of the many things AMF, Austin Music Foundation, does. So I want to talk more about your role there, but can you, since you are communications and outreach, can you give the, the short little elevator speech about what AMF does
And
in
for
Austin?
those listening, what does AMF stand for?
AMF is the Austin Music Foundation.
Classic
and
Joe.
Hey,
Said it like three
we
times.
We have
For
not
those
said
of you at
Austin
home.
Music Foundation yet. We've just been saying AMF the entire
When you
time.
listen
you,
to this
Joe.
again,
Yeah.
you'll be able to hear me say
Now
it.
you'll know it.
The Austin Music Foundation, otherwise known as AMF, we focus on business education for musicians. So our sort of tagline is that we're trying to strengthen, connect, and elevate the local music industry and community here in Austin. We basically want to promote success through self-sufficiency. So if I'm talking to a band, I'll sort of tell them like, we'll act like a manager without really doing anything for you. We can offer booking opportunities, but we're not going to be a booking agent. We can give you suggestions, but we're not going to directly, I guess, do things for you, spoon feed you, I guess, in another sense. But we offer a lot of different networking type of events. We offer educational panels focused on different topics. We are in touch with a lot of other nonprofits in the area. People reach out for suggestions on bands to book all the time. We just try to be a resource to everyone. We do career consultations, and that can range from, anyone who's like interested in publishing, interested in management, and also obviously musicians.
And I know Fair City Fire, you guys have been to panels, you've met with advisors as
Yeah.
well.
Definitely. We met with plenty of them. Johnny Gowdy, Anar.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the first guy?
I
Alex,
think
yeah.
Alex was our first
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
The Godfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Godfather.
I mean, it's really great. I mean, it's just great to have people to spitball ideas off, and it's really cool because a lot of times when it's just us hanging out talking about like, oh, this is how we make our band successful, it's like, who knows
What
if
the
this
hell do we know?
Yeah.
like none of us know what we're doing, so it's like nice to have at least somebody that's been in the industry a while to kind of talk to about these things and just maybe know that we're like on a path that makes sense.
Yeah.
More
There's been-
often than not, it's like kind of reassuring, like, oh, yeah, okay, we kind of know what we're doing a little bit.
Yeah, we're doing some right things. We always walked away with a piece of information like we went there, like Brian was saying, we kind of like we got an idea what we're doing. Maybe we can get, and you'll be there 45 minutes. Sometimes they'd go over 20 minutes with Brian and I. They're just really nice over there. And then you leave and you go, yeah, we kind of knew this. And then you're like, but this piece of information you walked away with this particular time kind of really sets you, put a little fire under your ass or whatever you needed at that moment. So it's always been good whenever we visit.
And I would imagine there's different services. Are there costs for different services? Or,
No, all of our services are totally free. We get grant funding and we have some awesome donors that support AMF, but all of our services are free to musicians, free to anyone, but it doesn't really help you if you're not in the industry.
Yeah. Well, because I know you have programs for people in the industry as well, not just the actual musicians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have the Music Industry Collaborative and we have Leaders in Austin Music, and both of those programs actually support, you can be a musician, but it's also venue owners. It's also people who are creating different like music related apps. And a lot of those programs, we actually give money away to the graduates, sort of like Black Fret style with their grants. We give them away to whoever, I guess, wins. We have our board that votes on each different business proposal at the end. And so, yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've never heard that. That's really cool.
I would imagine that there's kind of a hurdle for a lot of bands in town in getting these services that are completely free, will educate you about the music industry in Austin, because they say, oh, I want to do it my way. Or it's like, I don't need help, or I don't want this, this guy to tell me what to do with my business. But is that kind of like the hardest hurdle to get over for, you think, a lot of bands?
Yeah, I think you definitely have to be receptive to it, but I think you have to understand that it's not coming from a place of competition at all. All of our consultants have kind of been through everything that every artist that's coming in has been through. So they're really just looking at it from a perspective of like, yep, I did that and it was a really bad idea, so probably don't do that again. And, we get some people that come in. For the most part, everyone's really nice, honestly, but you definitely have to be open to it and willing to probably change your plan, because I'm sure you guys know that everything is constantly in flux and then changing, and it's never going to stay how you think it's going to stay.
How was it for you guys? You guys seemed like you guys were pretty open to it.
Definitely. I mean, you can't go into those things like thinking you have all the right ideas, like exactly, because what's the point, But it's, but yeah, having that idea of like being open-minded to some new ideas, just like it's really helpful, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good. So that no confrontations at AMF ever. Nobody's leaving there with a hot head or anything. Or
none that I can remember or that I would mention on this very public podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
You know who you are.
Say it loud.
No,
want
it's
the dirt.
Yeah, it's very much a positive and friendly environment.
So what is, it seems obvious, but what's the interest for there to be AMF for the community?
Tourism is a big part of it. We are calling ourselves the live music capital of the world still. And if we don't have musicians that are being supported or that are able to continue making music, then I don't think we can really call ourselves that. And there's probably already a tech capital, San Francisco or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Soon to be Austin. Shit.
Yeah, I know. That's why we got to keep everyone here.
Yeah.
Keep it affordable.
Mm-hmm.
You started the Artist Development Program. So is that part of the Creative Media Center?
Yeah,
Part of that?
so the Creative Media Center is sort of what we call our home base. And through that we have, that's basically like the hub of everything. And then our Artist Development Program launched last year, was the first year of it, and I believe we chose 7 artists, and then this year we have 7 again, and that's sort of our like next level artist consultations. So we handpick AMF, not me, but Jenny and Einar and Kate and everybody, we talk about it and we decide who we think is working hard, who we see improving, who we see really working hard at their craft, honestly, and sort of take them under our wing. It's like a 7-month program, and so they focus on a different aspect of the business for every month. And so you get hands-on meeting with the mentors, you get connected to different people in the industry in Austin. We basically just do whatever we can to really support those artists and help them develop their art. You know, we have songwriter sessions, we have all sorts of things like that to just really, like, I guess, groom the next level. Like, so, you know, you have your independent local bands, and then you have like the Gary Clark Juniors who have gone national, and then the goal of ADP is to sort of like lift these people up to where they can get to that next level.
It's like graduate school for bands or something like that,
basically,
kind of in a way.
yeah. And also totally
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so you were saying it's selected by the people that work there. Is there is it purely selected by them, like, or is there an application of a group of people that come in and you choose from there, or how does that work, and when does it usually kind of?
So the program is brand new, and as far as I just started at AMF, so I don't know tons of all the details right now, but we definitely see the artists who are coming in a lot to AMF and asking the right questions, and then like taking those answers and really running with them and like making those improvements, and just like taking big steps, you know. And then we don't have an application process necessarily, but it's typically someone who has been featured as an artist of the month. They show up to AMF things. We really see them, you know, touring and putting out records and just like consistently doing awesome things. But yeah, I mean, maybe they'll open it up to an application process in the future, but I think
I feel like that's probably the right way to do it, just because there would be thousands of bands that would, you know, you would think that would apply for something like that, and then it would be hard to kind of, you know, shuffle through all of those and figure out the right ones.
Totally, and we
Yeah.
don't want people showing up just like throwing their CDs at us and being like, "Take my band."
Yeah, like we've never done anything with you guys before, even cared to, but we heard about this, so listen to us. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because people they always ask, and my answer is always just like, the first step is to get involved, you know, like it's going to start with the orientation, it's going to start with the consultation, and then once you're on our radar, you know, like that's kind of my job, and our whole job is to just like keep up with you, you know, like I try to make a point to see the bands that come in and book different bands for different things. I like to, you know, I think sometimes in Austin you run into the problem where somebody reaches that like Austin darling status, and then they're just booked on everything all the time. And so we try, you know, we obviously support those people too because they're doing something right, but we want everyone to shine, you know, because there really is so much diversity of talent here.
Yeah, it seems like, I wonder how much of this is based on, and I'm not saying AMF, but in general, I always see like whoever has the most likes or something gets picked for everything, and it seems like that's almost the biggest currency now in terms of getting more exposure in a way is, do you have a big enough presence online? And I don't know if you see that go through. I mean, I feel like that's what I see when I look at a lot of shows that happen. You know, when big companies come in and want to sponsor shows, it's, you know, how many likes or what's your reach. It kind of seems like that's the mechanism for broader exposure these days.
Unfortunately, I think you're right. I think it's very easy for somebody from out of town to be like, oh, this band has 1,000 likes. Well, this band has 6,000 likes. But I think the most important thing is to look at engagement. You know, if you have like 6,000 followers on Instagram, but your photos are getting like 10 or 15 likes, you know, like we can all assume you probably paid for those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in Brazil somewhere.
Yeah.
Like that, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's that fine line of looking at the likes and then seeing, well, have they played a show in the last 6 months, or if they played at all, or if they played 15 shows this past month, you know. Because we do that when we book, and then also just in general, you look at people, we know some bands here that they've got 25,000 followers, and then you're like, you haven't played a show in forever.
Yeah.
But you got like, 12 music videos somehow, but you still haven't played a show in like almost a year. Like, how do you get these likes and stuff? So
Buy them.
yeah.
Buy them.
Pay for it.
So I wonder. I mean, I would imagine that the people at AMF kind of know that, and it sounds like that. I mean, you just said exactly that. So.
Yeah, we don't pay too much attention to that. We do pay attention to if the radio is playing you. You know, we have KUTX and Sun Radio, and both of those stations are very supportive of local artists. We definitely trust their opinion on things. I've booked shows for certain bands that we've been turned down before because they're like, you really need more Facebook likes or something. And I'm like, but did you listen to the recordings? Because like, that's why we're trying to break this new market, you know? So it's like a double-edged sword, I guess. You can't really get the likes without the opportunities. And sometimes you can't get the opportunities.
Very delicate balance.
The likes.
Yeah.
Man.
You got to hustle. You got to grind it out.
Yeah.
Play in a grocery store for
Wait
3
for now.
hours.
And I think we need more photos of Hoosier. I think that would help us get the likes.
He does get the likes,
I
man.
vote
Yeah.
yes.
He's a little ham.
Are there some things, I mean, this could open to everybody, but that bands or artists do maybe at the basic level that are just wrong or common, that are just, I think advisors at AMF would be like right away would be pick something out and be like, oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing this. Let's start there first.
I will tell you, it's not something that bands don't do, but my number one pet peeve is when somebody is new to me or new to the scene or just new in general, and the first thing they do is like ask you for shit, and they're like, hey, like, I know you know this person, can I have that?
Wow,
I know you know this person, can I have that? Well, how are you doing this? Well, how are you doing this? And I'm just like, oh, hey, I'm Emily, like, it's really nice to meet you, you know? I think people can get so caught up in the idea that their project is the most important and that they are super passionate about it, and I fully respect and appreciate that, but you have to be respectful of everybody's time and understand that we're all sort of going for the same thing, and like, you got to work together, and it's not just going to be handed to you.
What are things, Brian, that you think you learned, or whether meeting with AMF or just doing this for a while, anything that sticks out from you guys?
I mean, I definitely agree with people like asking for stuff right away before, because that's just like that's like networking 101. You know, you just don't do that. And I think bands do that sometimes with us, like, or, you know, sometimes people like, and, you know, there's sometimes when it's like, hey, can I just ask you a few questions about like such and such? And that's fine. But, you know, it's the whole like, you know,
There's ways to do it. I know people have reached out to Brian a bunch of times because he's just really good at staying busy in this business. And they do it in such a fashion, though, where it's like, hey, let me take you out to lunch or get you a coffee.
that works.
Let's chat about it.
Tacos.
They don't they don't necessarily ask for you to do things or like, hey, let us jump on this bill at Antone's with you. We've never played a show before.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, how do I get a gig at Stubbs? And it's like, well, you know, first off, hustle your ass off.
Yeah.
Show Stubbs that you're worth booking, you know?
Yeah,
Play
play
it.
the show elsewhere.
That's the thing. Like, you know, and it's like, it's almost like there's some magic button, or if you have the right email, you'll automatically get the gig. And it's like, well, no.
Yeah.
That's just not how this works, you know?
But on the flip side, too, it's like, I know that we've also been that lower band reaching up, trying to find ways to get in and like, you know, like reaching out to venues and maybe out of town and saying, hey, we see this really great show, let us jump on the bill. And then they probably think that same way towards us. Hey, well, how many times have you played in San Antonio, this and that, or wherever it may be.
Yeah.
So it is tough, and we were all there at one point, reaching up, trying to find stuff. So then I think the fine balance is, okay, you got to go show some support to those bands first, and then show a little interest, and then maybe something will happen from there.
It's like regular human stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's
Creative-
crazy what
Yeah.
being nice will do for you.
Create a
Not
relationship.
annoying.
Just be nice.
It's insane.
Start with a compliment. That's my strategy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I love what you do with this.
Yeah.
Maybe we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't just
Yeah.
be a leech.
Yeah.
There's more to life than being a leech.
Yeah, the world owes you nothing. That's what you got to learn.
Low bar.
Yeah.
And everything's around.
Yes.
Everything's around.
Everything's around.
Yeah.
Everything's around.
I would imagine it's a lot of bands or artists probably are hoping for just the quick fix from you guys. You know, it's like, yeah, again, hit that button, but it's like, it's hard work. I think a lot of what we talk about on the podcast comes down to effort and work and legwork and tedious stuff. That's part of being, you know, in the business of music. I mean, there must be bands that go there and just want somebody, you know, right away, that connection, and just say, hey, can we be your artist of the month or something like that?
Yeah,
You know?
people reach
How do we do
out
that?
all the time for like press requests, which I think is interesting. You know, they'll be like, hey, like, go listen to our record. Can you, like, write a review about us? And I'm like, have you ever seen AMF write a record review? Like, where are we going to start now?
Yeah.
I don't know. But we're open to music submissions, and we always want to work with bands. But usually if someone just kind of cold call reaches out, I sort of respond and be like, hey, this is what we do. If you want to sign up for a consultation, we'd love to talk with you about your marketing plan and whatever it is that you're working on. But, we can't just like.
In case you have no idea who we are, obviously. Here's our website. Go look there first.
Yeah, we'll get those random like, hey, like, I'm a Texas guy, and like, if you need a country band at your next show, like, book me. I'm from Denton. And I'm like, well, we try to focus on Austin bands. But okay, thanks.
We are the Austin Music Foundation.
Yeah.
Not the Denton Music Foundation.
Not DMF.
So really, I mean, if somebody's hearing this, or if they're a new band, they're trying to find their way in the scene, the best thing is to just go to the website, schedule an appointment, just start there.
Yeah,
Is that the best thing?
start at the website, make a consultation, come to one of our mixers. I think the next one is like December 19th. It's going to be at Native Hostel.
Nice.
Yeah, we try to do them pretty regularly. I think bi-monthly is the goal for next year. I know it's a little bit of ways now, but we've got ACL and all sorts of other stuff coming up. But those are really great. Just introduce yourself to us, introduce yourself to people, start making connections. Because, AMF isn't the only way to do it, but we're definitely helpful and we are supportive and we want to make you, lift you up.
This is kind of weird, but there's probably a lot of people that would want to do that, network and make connections, that are creative, but they're just not good at it. Is there a way to,
Totally.
like, I'm sure that's something
Yeah, I feel like
advisors could help
artists
with.
sometimes can be very like, I don't know, maybe
that
reserved
kind
or
of thing
something.
just takes practice, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Totally.
you just got to go do it. Like, that's, I
But
went to the
AMF
last.
could help that.
Yeah,
I would
true.
imagine.
Yeah.
I went to the last networking event,
Mhm.
and you could spot those people that
Yeah.
were,
Yeah.
like, just really uncomfortable, but they were making themselves do it. And it's like, I guarantee that person goes to, like, 4 more of those, that person's going to be, like, talking to everybody.
Mhm.
And that's just kind of how these things work. You just got to, I don't know. What do you think about that?
No, I totally
Yeah.
agree. I was actually going to ask if y'all had any suggestions how to make them more inviting, because we did have the suggestion last time to give people name tags. We were kind of hesitant because we were like, I don't know, is that lame? But I think it would be helpful to see, like, you can just go up and be like, hey, like, Fair City Fire, I've heard of your band. Like, that's really cool. And it just sort of gives you a conversation piece. But it definitely takes practice. And I know it's not easy for everybody. Like, I moved to a brand new city and I didn't know anyone, but that's because I really enjoy meeting strangers and like talking to people all the time, and I definitely understand that not everybody is into that or good at it, but you can become good at it. And if, you're in a band, bring a bandmate and just like make the goal of like, I'm going to, introduce myself to 2 new people today, but the best way to do that is probably not to just go up to somebody and be like, hey, I'm Emily.
I would like it
What's
to be
up?
more like
Yeah.
a speed dating thing. We all are at a bunch of tables and we're like, we sit down. Hi, Fair City Fire. My name is Joe. And then we just talk for 5 seconds and move on to the next person.
I can
Speed
set it
band
up.
dating. There you go. That's our Fair City Fire. Say it loud solution. Speed
No,
dating
it's-
bands.
It's funny too. I've noticed, like, once you start talking to like one new person at an event like that, or a couple new people, like you kind of create these like groups almost, and then more people sort of come in, and it's like you just got to make that first step. I think
Totally.
and that's the big thing. And
And usually if you've been around, I feel like when you go to those things too and you get a group going and then all of a sudden someone else walks up that knows somebody else in that group that and you're like, wait, you guys know each other? And then usually there's at least, I feel like once you get more than 4 or 5 people there, it's someone in that circle knows each other.
it's magic.
The
Totally,
city
that's the
starts to
magic of
shrink a little
Austin.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
With that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned events. So let's talk in a moment about ACL, but I want to mention these other events through AMF coming up. October 27th, the PBR Sound Society
Yeah.
benefit for AMF at Mohawk.
What's going on there?
Benjamin Booker Bully telenovela.
Sweet.
So it's a benefit for AMF because you
Yeah.
guys do take donations. You need sponsors. I mean, it's a nonprofit, so that's a big part of your business.
Yeah. PBR was really nice to include us. They've been doing, I think they did it in Seattle. They're doing it in Denver, maybe like Phoenix, Arizona, just a bunch of cool cities around the U.S. where they're hosting these like sound societies, and they're booking, national headlining acts, but they're also showcasing a local band, which for us will be telenovela, and a visual artist who for us is Sophie Roach, who's really cool.
Oh,
So
cool.
she designed the poster.
Cool.
And yeah, it's just sort of a way to like, I guess, trick people into drinking PBR.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
showcasing local
Boom,
music.
roasted.
They're gonna
Love
be
you,
like, we're
thanks.
gonna have to drop out of that because of the slander from the other day.
That'll be a
They
that'll be a
didn't,
great event if you only have $10 on October 27th. Yeah.
They didn't get that blue
Give
ribbon
5 of
for
it to
nothing, you know?
AMF.
Yeah.
Beer pong. Set up a beer pong table there.
There you go.
You drank a
Perfect.
lot of PBR. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come out, have PBR.
Winner gets a T-shirt.
Hey, I mean, I'm in.
And a ride
Same
home.
as-
And an Uber home.
Yeah.
A ride Austin.
There you
Ooh,
go.
yes.
Yeah.
Keep it local.
Yeah,
I like
dude,
it.
no.
Yeah.
Plugging
Fuck
them left
Uber.
and right.
That's right. We're gonna cut out my
Swish.
Uber nonsense.
And then November 18th, I want my all ATX.
Yeah.
Obviously, that I want my MTV. The parallel there.
Oh.
So it's going to be sort of like almost like an 80s idea of a
Is it
party
dress up?
here. But
Always.
oh yeah,
The
of course.
option.
You're like, you want?
But November 18th, I want my all ATX. I want my all ATX. That'll be so all ATX umbrella organization that benefits AMF, Ham, Sims,
Black Fret.
Black Fret. Okay.
I think that's all of the 4 of us. But that's put on by KUTX also, and the Four
Excellent.
Seasons is hosting. So it'll be like a Sunday afternoon show.
Is Flock of Seagulls really going to be there?
Flock of Seagulls is really going to
No
be there.
way.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
Kalu
really
and the
cool.
Electric
Kalu.
Joint. I
Oh,
think Mobley.
man.
Mobley, yep.
Lisi Alani.
Yep.
What? Well, then yeah.
Yeah, it
That'll
should
be an
really
excellent show.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flock of
So I think
Seagulls.
those you do have to
Oh, it's
RSVP and get tickets for
Yeah,
for that
20
one. I'm
bucks.
pretty
20
sure.
bucks? Okay.
And then they
Yeah.
have VIP options, but $20.
Watch out.
And I run.
Then you said, yeah, December is going to be the
I
Native
run so
Hostels
far
stuff. Yeah.
away.
Yeah, we have a bunch of good stuff coming up in December. We haven't finalized much of it yet, but we're really looking forward. Native is a great space. They're very supportive of the art community here in Austin, especially music. I think November their focus is going to be more visual art, and in December they're really going to become a hub for music.
And they're run by the Hope Organization.
Oh yeah.
That's like their Hope Organization's thing, right? Like all the murals and stuff on the walls.
Oh.
From the same people who do the mural wall and the Hope Outdoor Gallery and all that.
That's
so that's like
awesome.
their like hostel space, and then I guess music. They're starting to showcase a lot more music there too. So it's a
Yeah.
really cool spot.
I love them. Yeah.
And now you know with Joe. And Hope stands for helping other people everywhere. And look them up.
Wow.
Go to the Native.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of being sneaky with this podcast because when it's released, ACL already happened, but it's
Yeah.
actually
It
coming
was
up.
great.
Oh, wasn't
It's coming
ACL
up
so
this-
sweet?
Yeah.
It was great. I'm sunburned.
It's so productive.
Yeah.
Paul and Metallica. I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting together on
It was-
stage.
It was
yeah.
a once in a lifetime thing. If you missed it, then like
There was a Beatallica album actually. Didn't somebody mash that up?
Jay, it
Beatallica
was-
Oh my
years
gosh.
ago. Yeah.
Was it?
It was pretty
That's so
good.
funny.
it was better live though.
Yeah.
And we all saw it.
Yeah.
Kanye parachuted in from
For no, yeah.
for
In a
no reason.
water
Like
bottle,
a
in a
Dasani
giant water bottle.
And
Yeah.
he during
Was
Metallica
promptly-
set
was
and
promptly kicked out
took
of
the
the
microphone
festival.
away from everyone.
Yeah. But well, we can talk about what the ACL plans are, even though it would have already happened.
Yeah.
But we're all going to be in the same tent, I guess we're learning.
Yeah.
So
we're
ACL
excited.
cares.
Cool.
So that's about ACL and their involvement with organizations in the community. So obviously AMF is going to be represented. We're going to go with Ham, but we're going to be doing our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Gowdy, friend of the show, is going to be doing podcast with AMF.
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
And what you think you're going to be there all day?
I will be there all day, which I'm happy to be. I'll be working the booth for the first half, and then I'll go out and see some bands on the second half. But super excited. John Lee will be talking to Jackie Vinson on weekend 1, and
Yes.
then Kid Jones on weekend 2. Yeah, we're super excited. This is a new program that C3 is testing out called ACL Cares Academy. So it's their way to sort of highlight the nonprofits in Austin, but also give them a space to sort of speak to their mission and offer engaging ways for the ACL attendees to get involved with us.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I mean, we're going to have Sydney, or we already did. You probably already
Yeah.
heard it.
We'll
If
have
you
her
didn't,
again.
go back and listen to it.
Yeah. We'll have
We love
right
Sydney.
again.
It's got to feel pretty cool to have, like,
Yes.
one of the country's biggest festivals in the city where music happens and then take part in it. I mean,
Yeah.
you've already done, have you worked with, do you work with Blues on the Green or things like that?
Yeah, I do work
Yeah.
for Blues on the Green. I do production, and that is just a tiny baby thing compared to
Right.
ACL.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for my level of involvement on this end of things.
When's the next time you
Goodness
take a day off?
Oh gosh, the next time I take a day off. Well, technically we're working from home all next week, so I'll be fine
Excellent,
to recover.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be nice. But
Yeah, it was great.
Really.
But
ACL.
ACL was so good.
We stayed
So good to
hydrated.
us.
It definitely didn't rain at all.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
No
No.
cancellations.
We
Yeah, it was
eat
great.
Our words if it gets
I
rain.
know. Right?
Childish
Rained out.
Gambino surprise showed up. Actually, it was crazy. I
He's
couldn't
like, my
believe
foot feels
He
better.
tandem jumped from the sky with
Fine.
with Kanye.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm good.
But yeah, check out either our podcast, they're already on there, or Gowdy's
Mhm.
or on his.
Yeah, his should be up around the
yeah.
same time.
How'd I get here?
Yep.
Mhm.
Right.
He's also, actually, I guess he just turned 50 on the 14th.
He's gonna be happy
on
to hear it.
Sunday of weekend
I'm not
two.
gonna want you to said that.
Who he is, I put it in our newsletter. I made sure. I was like, "Do you care?" And he's like, "Of course I don't care."
Don't
Nice.
have a birthday.
Yeah. we
He
love him.
cares.
Yeah,
No,
he just
he's
had a new
beautiful
record.
50.
New record come out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
So,
did.
yeah.
Put on a killer
Yeah, it's
show
great.
at 1-1.
Yep.
Nice.
Man, nice.
Support him,
The
friend.
new EP's great.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think we should play a game.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm nervous.
That's why I came here.
I've kind of been riding high on the Simple Truth game. I love it. So let's do it.
The one
The
with
Simple
the-
Truth. So this is where I've
The game.
pulled some questions from Yahoo Answers.
Oh God.
People that desperately need our expertise. So
And we give it to them.
yeah, I'm gonna go around
Parasitic
the circle
pocket.
here and ask everybody a question. You can tag team questions. Like we want to give the best answer to these people who are desperate for an internet
need our
answer.
help.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we'll come up with the best one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
guaranteed.
yeah.
Every time.
So this is Simple Truth. Let's start with Brett.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point of suitcases? I don't get it.
It's the airlines. It's their fault. They tricked us into getting
Yeah.
so we could pay more money to
Big,
fly.
big airline. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
scam. It's
Down
a
with the
scam.
corporate agenda.
Yeah.
Corporate
Yeah.
what?
Samsonite. I was way off.
Yeah. I just wear all my clothes on the plane. Skip that $25
There
fee.
you go.
Yeah.
You look like Ralphie from Christmas Story. I'm just
Yeah.
walking on
Yeah.
the plane.
That's so funny.
I think that was a perfect answer.
Yeah, it's that and to sit up in the attic for the rest of the year.
Right.
One trip a year. You use it.
Suitcases make a great storage unit for other suitcases. So you put your biggest one, and then
Yeah.
it's smaller. Then you put in a bunch of old clothes that you forgot to bring to Goodwill inside of there.
Or you just leave
Yeah.
the clothes from the last vacation in there till the next vacation.
Mhm.
Or you get one of those luggages that you can ride, and then you ride it around in the off year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never even
Ooh.
heard
There are
of
luggages
that.
you
Yeah.
can ride now. They have
Yeah.
wheels in the bottom.
Yeah,
You
they
just
do.
ride
Better
them
than the
little
damn
s-
Like little
scooters.
Segway
Yeah, well, like,
suitcases.
yeah, like little bling,
Yeah.
like through
What
the-
will they think of next?
Well, yeah.
You're gonna be
I don't know.
great. I just thought of this. Why don't you put like $20 in a suitcase, and then when you check it again in 3 months, it'll be there. It's a
Ooh.
little savings
Little,
program.
little
Because I
piggy
need
bank.
that $20 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know
You're gonna
that's only staying up there for like
You're gonna remember it tomorrow.
a week
Yeah.
at the most.
Oh, I need to. I'm
Oh, shit, I gotta buy
gotta
some
go in
weed.
there.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to get into that.
Take some discipline there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
For that
go
program.
and grab that.
Yeah. So suitcases are to protect your money for a day. I think that's the point.
Yep.
Ryan.
Ryan?
You just call him Ryan.
No, I said Brian. Did I not say
Yeah.
Bush?
You know that's
It
all
had a-
right.
Ryan.
It had a
Ryan.
tendency.
Yeah, it's
Ryan.
okay. I'm getting frustrated already. So you called me by the wrong name, but go on.
I want to hear a replay on this. I definitely didn't say Ryan.
We've got one,
Slow-mo.
so we'll
Yeah.
check it
great.
out.
That'll
Yeah.
be great. I think I might have said Ryan.
Yeah, I think it may have been more.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Which, you know,
All right.
it's not great.
What would happen if I married my sister and we just didn't have kids?
These are real questions. folks.
There's no incest involved. It's just pure love.
I mean, no kids doesn't mean no sex.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah,
Oh,
you know.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Good point. Yeah.
Jesus.
Man.
Sorry
That's
to
a tough
take
one.
it there.
I mean, you know,
She tied her tubes.
Should you
I
just.
don't want to be judgmental here.
They practice
Yeah.
safe sex.
should they-
There's plenty of fish in the sea. You know.
Yeah.
You don't gotta marry your sister fish. You know what I mean?
There's a lot to unpack
Like,
in
there's
this,
lots
in this
of-
question.
You know, you don't have to.
Yeah.
No one's telling you got to.
The official answer, well, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
The
say.
official answer, it's still fucked up.
Yeah, I would say maybe don't. You know, and do not.
What's that
And
conversation
You're going
with
to get a big thumbs down on your answer from this guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
It's not what I was hoping for.
How do you? I mean, I guess you go in there with a game plan to try to convince Dad to walk her down the aisle. Like, just hear us out, Dad. Like, just, yeah.
See, we're
That's how
not,
I
you know,
pictured
we're not
this.
gonna have a kid, so it's fine, right,
Yeah,
Daddy?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You're getting 2 for 1.
You always said keep it in the family.
Oh my
Goodness.
Why are we all talking with a very similar accent with this one?
There is a little,
Because only rednecks.
yeah, a little prejudice.
Precisely.
against- So I guess there would be a fair amount of judgment for that.
You might be a redneck if your sister doesn't have to change her name when you, or your wife doesn't have to change her name when you get married.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got it. I got
I
there.
liked it.
Yeah. Excellent. Joe, how come no one eats acorns? Wait, gauge the room. Has anybody here eaten an acorn before?
I don't think
I haven't.
I've had
I have not,
any
no.
other- I think any
I've
other
got an
kind of
idea
nut,
why
cashew.
I haven't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have an idea.
They've never been readily available. I feel like that's a pretty high class nut. And I just, I'm just
Hashtag
not-
high class nut. There it is. We got it.
I'm just
We got our
not-
hashtag.
That's the hashtag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
that's
used
it.
to call me in high school.
And I just don't think I'm there, I just don't, I don't think I'm ready for the high class nut.
Something about maybe eating the same thing that squirrels do. They probably don't taste very. I haven't even.
I was
tried
also going
one.
to say, I think the squirrels got to him first.
Yeah, you don't want to fight a squirrel for your food.
Probably not.
Probably, yeah.
No.
I mean, do you think you put them in the oven, get it nice and
Toasty.
crispy?
Yeah. Throw a little
Even
sauce on it.
crispier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't know.
Toasted acorns?
Yeah.
little toasted acorns.
Give it a try. How about
Olive
that?
oil.
Yeah,
Give us a try and get back to us.
Yeah.
I think
Say-
your teeth might just fall out of your
Mhm.
face.
Yeah.
You try to eat an acorn.
Say
That's
get
my best
rich
guess.
so
Gotta
you
salt.
can get these acorns because, again, high class nut. And then toast them. And then toast them. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, unless you're a thief and you just want to steal them from the squirrels, but none of us are thieves here.
Yeah. Then
So-
at that point, it doesn't become a very high class nut, though, because you didn't
Yeah.
pay for it. It's a very low
Thievery,
class nut
yeah.
at that point.
Thievery.
This squeak squeaker. You took my acorn. No Emperor's New Grooves fans in here?
Oh, yeah,
I
dude.
was like, I did not
I-
know what that means.
I know
Oh,
what
come
that is.
on.
I know what it is.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, just don't fight us. That's why. If you
It's
don't
on
want to fight
Netflix.
squirrels.
You can
for
go
food,
watch
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right, Emily.
Okay.
How do I record videos at concerts without my singing voice being heard as well?
Stop fucking singing.
Perfect.
That's it. Yeah, that's the perfect answer.
It is perfect. That is.
Yeah.
Or
Are
put
you
your phone
a?
down.
How active are you in terms of cell phone recording during a show?
Man, I try not to ever take a video because I never watch them again.
Right,
Right.
nobody
They
ever does.
sound horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably, if it's like a artist that I'm like dying to see or probably won't have the chance to see again, I'll probably take like a video, but
Get a story. Just get one for the story real quick.
yeah, basically just to be like, oh yeah, I remember that, but it's like the quality is awful, the sound is bad. There's just, nobody watches it. You show it to your friend and they're like, yeah, I really don't care to watch this video.
So basically, just put your phone down. So don't
Yeah.
video anything.
It almost makes me angry. It made me angry. I had a girlfriend I had. We were watching Eminem at ACL one year, and we were far back.
Oh yeah.
But I was just watching, and then I saw her. Her phone was up in the air, and she was watching through the screen on her phone
Oh, no.
instead of like looking in front of her.
That's
You're
silly.
like,
I was
that's
like,
really
"What are you
him.
doing? You're missing this."
At least just like hold it up and
Yeah.
just keep looking forward, right?
Like you're gonna
Right.
remember looking at your phone during this whole show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I mean, I went to Eminem, I will say, and it was life-changing, but as I was leaving, I went to New York to see the show, and as I was leaving the state of New York, I completely shattered my phone, and all I was thinking was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get these pictures back. Like, I was
no.
like in tears at the Apple store, and they were just like, there's nothing we can do. And I was like,
Oh.
but the photos.
Oh,
like,
man.
come on.
Damn.
Did you
My
try
name
to?
is-
Did you try to turn it off and on again?
It was blacked out. It was
yeah.
not. But I got the photos and everything worked out. So
Oh, you did.
yeah, I got to
Okay,
keep them.
that
yeah.
took a turn at the end.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I
didn't see
didn't
that
tell you
coming
that good part.
until the end because that
Sometimes you get more than one chance.
the Apple
More than
Store
one
guy
opportunity.
sounded
Yeah.
the Apple Store guy sounded very convincing.
You
in
only
the
get
story,
one
and
shot.
I-
Yeah. Well, they didn't help me. I had to go to like the smartphone medic and like sketchy ass back alley.
Backwoods. I
New
was gonna
York.
say like backwoods. He's like, hey, I gotcha.
like running all over town with no map.
You got a
like,
broken phone.
Somebody's be here.
Let me fix that phone for you.
Yeah, I bought a pipe on my break. I was
See
like,
ya.
oh, 30 minutes? Cool.
Sweet.
Gotta run some errands.
Or like you go in there and you're like, I need to get my phone fixed. Like, oh great, while you wait, we have pipes over here too. Like they're all in the same store.
Cool. AwesomeMusicFoundation.org.
Yes.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you guys.
Good luck at ACL, and also congratulations on a successful ACL.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad you guys will be out there.
Yeah.
Wait,
I mean,
you
it was great.
awesome. Yeah. You mean it
I'm
was
glad
awesome.
you guys were out there.
But again, yeah, the website, you can check out all the events that you guys have coming up. Follow you on Facebook.
Thank you
And
for
if you're a
that.
musician, go there. Get
Yeah,
some
go
help.
in.
It's free.
Do it.
Do it.
It'll make you
Yeah,
smarter.
come see
Such a
us.
great thing.
Yeah, everyone's so
nice.
cool over there.
It's free.
feel
and
right
it's
at
help.
home.
Free help.
Yeah.
Look at that.
They give you free water bottles. How about
They
that?
sure do.
They do, but you should bring a refillable one.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
Fair City Fire, November 3rd, Saxon.
Yes.
Sign of
Ooh,
Fidelity.
Saxon show.
yeah.
Wow.
First
Yeah,
on.
we're excited.
Bringing in our new Wichita friends,
Capybara.
Capybara.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll
it's
be an
gonna
excellent
great.
show.
And Finite Fidelity will be
Yeah.
there. It's
Nice.
Dude's
their
Finite
residency, so
Friends of the
Yeah.
show.
it'll be fun.
All right. Thanks, Emily. Anything else you want to promote? Anything else major you forgot?
No, I think I'm good.
Excellent. Yeah.
Mixtape's
That's
gonna
fun.
drop.
Thanks.
Yeah, my mixtape, my
Yeah.
personal mixtape.
Refuse corporate culture whenever possible.
That's actually the name
I'm
of
so
the.
glad that stuck.
That's actually the name of the mixtape. Refuse corporate
Yes,
culture.
or
Yeah.
this episode.
Yeah. There you go.
Here, I think we can finish out the show with a mixtape. Ready?
Uh-oh.
Row, row, row your boat.
Row,
gently down
row,
the
row your
stream.
boat.
Merrily,
Row,
merrily,
row,
merrily,
row your boat.
merrily, life
Merrily,
is but a
merrily,
stream.
merrily, merrily, life is but a
Row your
dream.
boat.
Row,
gently down the
row, row your
stream.
boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Everything's around.